On December 2nd, AARP is hosting a free online seminar to help you avoid getting scammed. Brett Johnson, the original godfather of the internet, is the featured speaker. He and I caught up in advance to find out a little bit more about what to expect. I know you are known as the original internet godfather. It's not personal, it's just business. Tell everybody on background a little bit. What types of crimes landed you in prison?
Oh, geez, what types of crimes? Well, like you said, I was referred to by the Secret Service as the original internet godfather. Now, the way I got that was 39 felonies. What types? So we're talking aggravated identity theft, credit card theft, tax return identity theft, phishing schemes, fake bank accounts being set up, laundering money, basically whatever, any type of financial cybercrime you want to think about. Those 39 felonies pretty much covered it all. Now, that's not even what I made the United States Most Wanted list for. My main claim of notoriety, what got me that term of original internet godfather, was I built and ran the first organized cybercrime community. It was called Shadow Crew. It was a precursor to today's darknet and darknet markets, laid the foundation for the way modern cybercrime channels operate today. That will certainly get you sent to prison.
All right. I think if I read your biography correctly, you did 7 years in prison. Did that change your mind and make you want to come out and do things to protect, or where did the switch go in the other direction for you?
Well, it's important to note that crime is much like a drug addiction, and the path to recovery is never a straight line. So my turnaround, it's not prison. I don't really believe that prison rehabilitates anyone. My turnaround was my sister, my wife, Michelle, and then finally the FBI took me in under their wing and gave me the opportunity to use the knowledge I've gained as a lifetime criminal to help people instead of hurt people.
Cybercrime is huge. We see it in the papers almost on a daily basis or on the internet news that we read. What are some of the most common things that we see in terms of what we call cybercrimes?
So in terms of cybercrime, so you have to realize that most online crime is not sophisticated. We have this perception that the attackers are these quote unquote computer hackers. Not really true. You do have a few of those computer geniuses that are doing these types of crimes, but most of them aren't like that. Most of them are just very good social engineers. So we're talking most of the crimes that are being committed are identity theft related. It's taking over your bank account. It's using your credit card information. It's using your information to set up new accounts, something like that. The big takeaway is that people really need to accept that there's not really anything you can do to make sure your information is not compromised. That ship has already sailed. Last year alone, we had 1,523 breaches just last year, 57.6 billion records compromised last year. That's just last year. Everyone's information is available. So what can you do to protect it if a criminal gets hold of it? That's the big question. So identity theft's a big one. This stimulus fraud, of course, with COVID, stimulus fraud was hitting big, especially the unemployment insurance fraud, things like that. Ransomware is the other real big one right now. And so those three things together, you've got the stimulus type fraud that's going out, the identity theft in terms of financial crime, and then ransomware as well.
So as you indicated, you cannot make yourself invulnerable to this. You can just set up roadblocks to keep it from happening. You can be aware to keep it from happening. What are some of the more common, easier things that people can do that they don't do to guard against their identity being stolen or some of these other schemes?
Sure. So there's actually three things that you can do that are very effective in stopping the types of crimes that are going around right now for an individual. So the first thing is to freeze the credit of every single person in the house. Credit freezes became free September 18th, 2018, 3 years ago. The sad thing is credit freezes have been free for 3 years. Right now, the percentage of the population that have credit freezes in place, 12%, 12%. A credit freeze stops all new account fraud dead in its tracks. Works great for children, so you do need, when I say everyone in the house, that means kids and adults, freeze the credit of everyone. Understand that a credit freeze only stops new account fraud, those existing credit cards that you've got, your bank accounts, things like that. It doesn't stop the fraud that's on that. So you have to monitor accounts, place alerts on accounts where you can. For example, Discover Card has a $0 alert, meaning if a criminal just gets your Discover Card information on the dark web, he pays $12 for it. He tries to ping the card to see if it's alive. You get a text message saying, hey, someone's trying to use it. Let's do something about that. So freeze credit, monitor accounts, place alerts. And the big one, passwords. Passwords. 80% of every single individual on the planet uses the same password and log in across multiple websites. We got to stop that. And right now, the answer to stopping that is a password manager. Don't care which one you use, just use one of them. Those three things: freeze credit, monitor accounts, place alerts, password manager. That right there will make sure that you are not a victim of the type of person that I used to be.
Last question for you. Favorite con artist movie of all time? Is it Catch Me If You Can, Ocean's 11, or The Sting?
The Sting, Paul Newman, love him. Always The Sting.
All right, Brett. Thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate you.